Good evening, ladies and gents, back with another Conquerors Blade video. This time around we're going to be looking at some massive news that had dropped today about some balance changes. Before we get into the video though, hit that subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest of Conquerors Blade. So then, this has kind of been talk of the community for the past few weeks, really, where the developers and everything started putting out surveys about actually what needed balancing, what kind of issues we were facing in the game and everything like that. Now, we have had a first development journal dropped on us today at 11:20 AM this morning, so this video is pretty fresh, and it is detailing a load of balance changes coming on the 13th of January, as we are not having a patch tomorrow. However, it was officially announced that actually all of these changes will be coming next week on the 13th in our next patch. However, this video is going to be really me just reading off the screen, so just put me in the background while you're playing Conquerors Blade or whatever, and I'm going to read through all of this and pick out all the details and explain to you what it actually means as well. So there are going to be unit changes, there are going to be hero weapon class changes, there are going to be a few changes to a few different things. The main one, which I think a lot of people have been asking for a long time, is there will be a change to the Axe Raiders. So the Axe Raiders are currently the first among all units with the amount of time played, the amount of average damage taken, dealt, all the rest of it. They are a very well used unit. So the Axe Raiders will no longer immediately recover from control effects. So when they're dazed, stunned, knocked down, knocked back, all the rest of it, they will not be able to immediately recover from that. Now, they will actually be affected by that crowd control. And then currently, when the Axe Raider's Deadly Resolve is triggered, it is incredibly difficult for any hero or unit to retaliate during its 8-second duration, greatly reducing the effectiveness and value of other units. So the Axe Raiders will now take 30% increased damage within 1 second of being affected by control effects. So when they are dazed, stunned, knocked down, knocked back, all the rest of it, they will take 30% extra damage, which is a nerf. It's not a huge nerf, to be honest, to the Axe Raiders. I'm sure we will see more nerfs coming to them in the next couple of weeks. But actually, when you do use, say, the short sword knockdown ability, you will be able to pump out a lot of damage very quickly into those Axe Raiders. Now, 30% increased damage is huge, so make sure you take, genuinely, you really take advantage of that. The next are the Modaos. The Modaos are going to be having a slight change to them as well. Right now, they are very strong against cavalry. They are ranked first among all units of actually being picked. I did say that about the Axe Raiders. I can only apologise. Axe Raiders are third. The Modaos are the first. However, the Modaos, the average damage taken and dealt is not as high as the Axe Raiders, but they are a very good unit at this point. So they are going to be having a change. They are replacing 20% damage reduction against all types of damage while in battalion formation with a 33% damage reduction against cavalry and 8% damage reduction against infantry. So they are it's kind of a nerf, but also a bit of a buff. It's a bit of a weird one, this one, because actually they are going to be even better against cavalry now, which is a little bit weird. But they're not going to be as good against infantry. So infantry are going to be able to actually pump out a little bit more damage against these guys. Cavalry are still going to be affected badly against them. So the Northern Lance Cavalry, I believe they mean the Fire Lancers and everything here, they are having a massive buff. Now, I assume this applies to not only the Fire Lancers, but also the Liao's Rangers as well. They are having a huge buff because they are just not well used at this point. So they are going to be increasing the number of bullets shot and the accuracy rate of the Fire Lancers while charging. They are going to be adjusting the damage hitbox of Valor so that the unit can hit enemies more accurately, reducing misses by 60%. That is a huge reduction. Increasing the buff the Northern Lance Cavalry gains from movement speed, they will now gain a boost to attack while moving. The damage increases with more movement speed, capping out at 15% extra damage. That is an insane buff for this cavalry group, and I am going to put money on it right now. We are going to be seeing a lot more Liao's Rangers being used after tomorrow. Not only are they going to be shooting more bullets, those bullets are going to be a damn sight more accurate as well. Plus, when they are actually charging, they are going to be getting an extra 15% damage bonus. Now, couple that with the bagpipers, couple that with the glaive damage bonus as well. That is an insane damage buff for the Liao's Rangers. And this kind of goes into something that I've been talking about on stream recently. I am so glad they are going this way. Instead of just nerfing everything into the ground where you cannot play it anymore, they are buffing everything. They are making everything better. They are bringing everything up in line with the stuff which is currently the meta, rather than trying to pull that meta down to the down through the floor. They are trying to buff everything up, and I am so glad they are going this way. I think this will change the game dramatically tomorrow, and when the rest of the changes actually come in. That is it, not it though. We've got plenty more firearm infantry, so tercio arquebusiers and all that kind of stuff. They are going to be reducing the damage decay based on the range for firearm units. So 20 meters damage decay reduces to a maximum of 10%, down from 20%, so that's quite a big drop. 20 to 40 meters reduces down to 18%, down from 30%. Maximum decay range increases up to 56 meters, up from 48 meters. So it means they are going to be able to shoot longer, further, and actually do as much damage as a unit which was quite close to them. They are going to have an increased overall accuracy as well. Attacking enemies at around 30 meters has the highest increase of 15% accuracy. You want to keep people or units and heroes away from your firearm infantry, so actually that accuracy bonus at 30 meters away from you is huge. There's a huge buff for the firearm infantry. Again, we're going to be seeing a lot more firearms being used in sieges. Cataphracts. I was saying it, I have said it on the stream, I have said it as soon as the kind of reworks happen. Cataphracts are still not good, and finally someone has listened, and the devs have realized that actually the Cataphracts still are not good, so they are changing them up again, and they're going to be improving their follow charge again. They're going to be doing a couple other different changes to them as well. Nothing overly kind of detailed with this one, but Cataphracts are going to be getting some form of a buff again, which is well needed. Now, this one was actually quite a surprise to me when I read it earlier, but the Fortbraccio pikemen, so the spaghetti pikes, the really long pikemen that came in Season 3, they're actually getting a massive buff. They are not picked at all by people when they go into sieges, which is a real surprise to me. I thought this was actually quite a well done kind of unit. Didn't really need much, but I'm not going to complain because I do use these guys quite often. So they are very good against cavalry. They're very good at keeping infantry back away from them because their pikes are so long. They are going to be even better against cavalry now because they are going to be increased their damage output to cavalry while using brace by 15%, and then increase the damage of brace based on the enemy movement speed by up to 15% as well. So what that means is charging cavalry, so say winged hussars which are charging into you, if your Fortbraccio pikemen are already braced, that's an extra 15%, plus in their full cav charge, that's going to be an extra 15% as well. So actually, you're looking at a 30% damage buff for the Fortbraccio pikemen, which is an insane buff. So in territory wars, especially when they are forming up those death boxes, cavalry really gonna struggle massively against the Fortbraccio pikemen, against the Modaos and everything, to be honest. Like, they are bringing all of the infantry and some of the ranged units back into line, so actually they are going to be useful now against stuff in sieges, territory wars, all the rest of it. So a preview for the future. So this isn't coming in tomorrow, this will be changing on January the 27th. Imperial Spear Guards are just not used at all. They they don't really take the damage nor dish it out either, so they are going to have some big changes coming to them in the next few weeks. As soon as I obviously hear anything about that, I of course will let you know. Now, hero and weapon buffs. Now, if you haven't already watched the video I made last night about the what weapons needed a buff, a nerf, a rework, and a not change, actually I think I've got this pretty bang on, because the longsword is getting a slight buff. The short bow, which a lot of people said doesn't need a buff, but I actually did say in my video it does need a buff, is actually getting a buff as well. So it's I'm quite glad I'm pretty bang on the money really with both of those. Long swords, they're going to be having some changes to a couple of the skills. I don't know what the skills actually do at the minute, so I'm not even going to try to explain that. A lot of the cooldowns for the short bow are, or a lot of the cooldowns for the short bow are going to be changed as well. So they're actually going to be reduced a little bit. Now, there's nothing drastic in these changes for the cooldowns for the short bow, but they are changes. It is a buff. That is what it is. Going down to seasonal runes, there are a few runes which are going to be changing as well, because at the minute there's only certain runes you're going to use. There are runes that you just don't ever bother using, to be honest, because they are just not helpful at all. A lot of these runes are getting buffs, so just quickly going through it. Where the Camel's Saddle is changing, the Camel's Stomp, Tortoise's Resolve, Tortoise's Shell, Ursa's Bravery, Ursa's Ferocity, Ursa's Bloodthirst, and then Tiger's War, Tiger's Wrath, and Tiger's Tail. They are all getting not massive buffs, but buffs nonetheless. So actually they may be somewhat useful. So after tomorrow, go back through, look at the runes, and actually see, oh right, okay, so they've changed this, they've buffed this rune. This actually does kind of work out a little bit better for me now. It may be worth changing some up tomorrow. Weapon runes, especially the longsword and shield, are having a bit of a different having a bit of a change to their effect of rapid action. So all damage increased by 100, while at above 70% was 70. You're actually getting damage increased by 100 now instead of 70. So again, not a massive buff, but still a buff nonetheless. There are going to be buffs to the short sword and shield weapon runes of Wargod Rungs and Wargod Beak. Musket is having a buff as well to Blazing Glory. And then the bows are getting some buffs to some of their runes as well. Plus as well one for the dual blade. So fortunately nothing about the glaive, which makes me sad, but I'm sure there are going to be a load of changes coming in the next few weeks. This is a damn good sign that actually the developers, Booming Games, remember they're the developers of Conquerors Blade, are changing stuff up in kind of response to the community, in response to actually what people are telling them, saying to them, and all the rest of it. They are using that feedback. It is vitally important whenever they put out surveys about unit balances, hero balances, weapon balances, all that kind of stuff. Take the time and fill them out and put in as much detail as you can, because this, or those, are what changes this balance, and it is really important that you do them. I know it takes a little bit of time, but I do them. I know a lot of people that do them, and they are obviously acted upon and worked upon, and I think we are going to be seeing a lot more changes like this in the next few weeks. Let me know your thoughts down below then. I will leave a link to this kind of post that I've been just videoing the whole video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is this a good sign? Is it a good step forward? Is it good that actually instead of trying to nerf everything, they are buffing everything? And I personally think it is the best way about it. The nerfs have not worked over the last 10 seasons. Let's actually just buff everything up massively and try and get everything kind of into a line with each other. Thank you very much for watching though, folks. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have, please do let me know down below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and I will catch you on the battlefield.